Afros and UFOs, case number 1, the Betty and Barney Hill abduction. Betty and Barney Hill were an interracial couple that were abducted by aliens in rural New Hampshire on September 19, 1961. As racial tensions flared up across the country, this couple, a white woman and a black man, were about to experience something beyond belief. The Hills lived in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Betty championed social and civil rights and worked alongside Barney, who was a civil rights leader, a member of the NAACP, and a social worker. Their experience started when the Hills were driving back home from vacation at the Niagara Falls to Portsmouth. Betty saw a bright light that moved in the sky from just under the moon, which started moving erratically and grew larger in size as they watched. Betty asked Barney to pull over because she had a pair of binoculars and she wanted to get a closer look. She saw a large UFO with red and green lights move across the surface of the moon. Barney saw that it had actually begun to head in their direction and decided to drive off. As he drove, he saw the object coming closer to the road. Then it suddenly came down towards the car, making Barney stop in the middle of the road. Barney grabbed his gun that he kept in the glove box and got out, using the binoculars to get an even closer look as he stepped away from the car. He saw, to his surprise, figures peering at him from the windows of the craft. A panel opened, and the creature stepped out, telepathically telling Barney not to move and to keep looking at them. Barney, now terrified, told Betty, "They're going to capture us." Getting into the car, he sped off, hoping to somehow shake this object that is now just above the car. As they looked up at the UFO, the car began to shake, and they both felt as if they had a moment of severe altered consciousness, not quite knowing where they were. After what they thought was only a few seconds, a series of beeps was heard, and they snapped back to awareness almost immediately. Strangely, they found out that they had driven 35 miles south, away from their destination. Later, they found that they both still felt ill. Both of their watches had stopped working, and they lost 2 hours of time. The Hills eventually reached out to the Mutual UFO Network, or MUFON, and made their historic report, after which they contacted the Air Force and began a series of hypnotherapy sessions in order to remember what happened to them after seeing the ship and the being. During the sessions and also in private conversations with her husband, Betty remembered having reproductive experiments done on her, among other things such as a pregnancy test. Most impressive was a star map that she drew of a solar system that the Grays told her they were from. Betty went on to become quite famous in UFO circles, even writing a book about their experiences. She never remarried and passed away at 85. To this day is one of the most studied cases of all time, and there's lots of proof to back it up. You want to know more? Just do your research. The knowledge is out there. Thanks for watching, and see you on the next installment of Afros and UFOs. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel, and tap on the notification button to stay up on all my content. It's chow time. Peace. Afros and UFOs.